Today's Bible reading is going to be coming from the book of 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 17. And it says, Eli answered, "Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant you what you have asked of him." Today's devotion is going to be on inner healing. Healing in Hebrew means Rapha, and Rapha means to make whole or to restore to normality. Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And Hannah was at a place where she could no longer speak. She had endured barrenness in a season where others had been fruitful. In our modern day times, this means while she was in a state of barrenness, others were getting promotions, others were getting new jobs, others were of sound mind, others were graduating, others were getting married, and others were getting children, and there was no sign for her. And yet Hannah was to later on carry a son that would anoint kings to one of the most powerful nations. It might look like, why me, God? But I believe you are carrying something for the nations. But it had to be born out of warfare. She had to take it to God. It wasn't in the witches. It wasn't in the charms. It wasn't in the waters. It wasn't in men. It wasn't in women. It wasn't in cults. It wasn't in married men. It wasn't in drugs. It wasn't in prostitution. It wasn't in crookedness. It was in the house of the Lord. The Bible says in Matthew chapter 11 verse 28 and 29, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I'll give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." But we also hear Peninnah taunted her. Peninnah continued to taunt Hannah. Peninnah being the voice of the enemy, bringing discouragement, provoking hopelessness and discouragement. But Hannah still continued to go to the house of the Lord. Is there anything too hard for the Lord? The Bible says in Colossians 2 verse 14, having cancelled the debt ascribed to us in the decrees that stood against us, he took it away, nailing it to the cross. The Bible also says when 4 lepers decided to go to the enemy's camp, in 2 Kings 7 verse 3, they said to one another, "Why sit here until we die?" My brother, my sister, why sit there until you die? And we go on to read in verse 6 that the Lord made the host of the Syrians to hear a noise of chariots and a noise of horses, even the noise of a great host, and the enemy fled. I want to decree and declare that the enemy will flee when you partner with God. Today, declare a word that you are coming out, that it shall be tangible, and surely people shall see and say, "This is the Lord's doing." And as I close, I want to encourage you to read Psalm 126 verse 1 and declare it with me and you. I want us to declare it together, that when the Lord restores us, when the Lord restores the fortunes of Zion, we will be like those that dreams. And we believe and decree and declare that God is going to overturn it, and that God is going to restore the fortunes of Zion. God bless.